Anna was a pregnant teenager, no older than 16. Eleanor found her living in a dilapidated shelter, abandoned by her parents and ostracized by her community. Her condition was fragile, and her spirit even more so. Despite her youth, Anna carried herself with a quiet determination, fiercely protective of the life growing within her. Eleanor quickly realized the grim reality: either Anna or her unborn child was the marked one, but she couldn't determine which. Taking no chances, she decided to get Anna to a hospital, hoping that medical care could buy them time and clarity. At the hospital, complications arose almost immediately. The pregnancy was far more dangerous than anyone had anticipated. After a harrowing examination, the doctors delivered devastating news: they could only save Anna or her baby, not both. The choice was agonizing. Anna's parents, who had disowned her months earlier, arrived at the hospital upon hearing the news. They were desperate to save their daughter, begging the doctors to prioritize Anna's life. Eleanor watched the scene unfold with a heavy heart. Anna's parents' pleas were laced with guilt, their regret palpable. But Anna herself was resolute. "Save my baby," she whispered, her voice trembling but firm. "My life doesn't matter if I can't protect them." Eleanor, torn between the family's wishes and Anna's plea, sought solace in the hospital chapel. She knelt in the quiet room, her head bowed in prayer, seeking guidance from a God she wasn't sure was still listening. "You look lost," a voice said, breaking the silence. Eleanor turned to see a man sitting in the pew behind her. He was impeccably dressed, his demeanor calm yet unnervingly familiar. It took her a moment to realize who he was. "You," she said, her voice laced with both anger and disbelief. "How can you be here?" The demon, now in human form, offered a disarming smile. "God allowed it," he replied. "I'm not here to harm you, not today. So, he let me in." Eleanor's hands curled into fists, but she remained seated, wary of his intentions. "What do you want?" The demon leaned back, his posture casual. "To talk. Is that so strange? You've been asking yourself a lot of questions, Eleanor. I thought I'd help you find some answers." "I don't need your help," she snapped. He chuckled. "Don't be so sure. You're struggling, aren't you? With your morality, your purpose. Why are you doing this? You didn't kill the first child. You did nothing wrong. And yet, here you are, carrying the weight of the world. Why?" Eleanor glared at him but didn't answer. Her silence was answer enough. "You see," the demon continued, "this isn't the first time the world has been on the brink of change. I've seen it before. I was there when Jesus walked the earth. Before he had followers, before anyone believed in him. And do you know what I thought?" Eleanor's breath caught. "What?" "I wasn't impressed," the demon said with a shrug. "He was just a man, wandering around, talking about love and forgiveness. But then the world changed. People died. Wars were fought in his name. And now it's happening again. These children, they're the key to bringing forth the next Christ. And if that happens, there will be an uprising. Chaos. Bloodshed?" Eleanor shook her head. "You're lying." "Am I?" The demon countered. "The devil doesn't want change, Eleanor. He thrives on the world staying exactly as it is. Predictable. Corrupt. Manageable. But this." He gestured vaguely, as if encompassing the entire situation. "This is something else entirely. If this new Christ rises, the world will burn. And you'll be the one who lit the match." The demon's words lingered long after he disappeared, leaving Eleanor alone in the chapel. She returned to Anna's room, her mind a storm of doubt and determination. Anna's parents were still pleading with the doctors, but Anna herself was silent, her eyes glassy with pain and resignation. When the time came to decide, Anna's wish was honored. The doctors fought to save her baby, but the complications were too severe. The child was stillborn, and Anna's anguished cries echoed through the hospital halls. She had been willing to die for her child, but now she was left with nothing but grief. Eleanor stayed by her side, holding her hand as Anna wept. She saw in the girl's eyes a reflection of her own pain, the weight of loss, the burden of survival. When Anna finally spoke, her voice was hollow. "Why did I survive?" she whispered. "I'm no one. I can't be what you need me to be." Eleanor squeezed her hand. "You're stronger than you think, Anna. You've already shown more courage than most people ever will. You'll find your way. I believe in you." As Anna began her long journey of healing, Eleanor realized that the girl was the chosen child. But Anna was far from the image of a holy apostle. She was broken, a shadow of the person she could have been. Yet, Eleanor saw in her the potential for greatness, the spark of resilience that had survived unimaginable pain. For the first time, Eleanor understood the true nature of her mission. It wasn't about saving perfect heroes or shining beacons of hope. It was about finding the broken, the lost, and the forgotten, and helping them find their light. The road ahead would be harder than ever, but Eleanor's faith, shaken as it was, remained intact. The war was far from over, but Eleanor would face it with renewed purpose. She would protect the chosen children, no matter the cost, and guide them toward the future they were destined to create, even if it meant confronting the very foundations of heaven and hell.